Hi, welcome to the director's cut of the hiking videos that I made this summer. I will be talking through some of the behind the scenes and other things that I didn't get to include in the video. Let's go. This is day 8 of my hiking videos, and it is the one where I respond to some of the hate that I received online. On day 7 at camp, I had some service, so I saw a message from a friend sending me a Business Insider post where they had referred to an article that they had done, an interview with me about how I was leaving my corporate job to do this hike. And some of the comments here were pretty harsh. There actually weren't that many comments that were, if I can remember correctly, positive. It was almost all like these kinds of comments about people saying like, what is she doing? And yeah, it definitely was something that I thought about a lot on day 8 the next day. I will say that most of the comments felt so far away from who I actually am. Like, for example, this whole idea of being a trophy wife, or like, oh, she probably got fired. Like those things are categorically untrue. So it didn't feel like it was that personal, but yeah, I mean, I still wanted to respond to it because I think that is probably something a lot of people think about in terms of how do you actually give up your life to go and do this hike or any hike in general.
It is day 8 of through hiking the Continental Divide Trail, Great Divide Trail combined. Last night I discovered I've been getting online hate in some places, which is very exciting. They think I have a husband, or that my parents are supporting me financially, or they think I'm just gonna have my little adventure and then marry for money and be.
I timed those clips so that the bird like flew off when I talked about adventure, and that the trophy wife, like gold digger kind of metaphor, was referred to with the scooping up the water. I'm proud of that.
I'm a trophy wife. They called me a loser. They said I probably got fired. They said only rich, privileged people can through hike. Well, I am rich. Rich in life. Rich in this. Anyone who has ever done anything worth talking about will get ignorant comments from cynics hiding in their anonymity. But they don't know me.
Oh man, I want to cry, like looking at all these clips of my friends from the PCT. Yeah. Uh, it was I kept all those clips on my phone for a reason, I guess, and the reason was to make this video.
I don't even know myself. I recognize I have a lot of privilege coming into the trail, but I did give up a lot of security and comfort.
Oh man, some of these clips, the one of Bushwhack lying in the snow is he was walking down, and this was just south of Tahoe, and there's still so much snow, and he slid right down, and we just couldn't help but laugh at the fact that he like totally ate it there. We were separated from the rest of our group for some reason. I think they took a different way or something. And then I was laughing at him and taking video of him, and then I said, "Okay, you want to get up?" And he said, "Yeah, I'm going to get up." And then I tried to help him up, and then I slid down the same way, and we just thought that was hilarious, just both of us lying in this pit together. Yeah, and then the other clip was of the backpack, me trying to lift the backpack. It's Coffee Machine's backpack, and his backpack was so heavy, I couldn't even get it off the ground with all of my weight. It was hilarious. And then this here is us celebrating Midsummer at the end of the Sierra and Tahoe. Yeah, well, great times.
To be here. It was a big decision.
That's Pisa sliding down in NorCal. And this is Coffee Machine and Lotto, the two guys that I hiked to the end of the trail with.
That I still wrestle with because I've stepped off a clear path to society.
That's Coffee Machine after his 24-hour, at the start of his 24-hour challenge, which I think he tried to hike something like 60 miles in 24 hours.
Definition of success. And anyway, I'm not special. Everyone on a through hike has.
I don't know what they were doing, but they were so good. They were so good at like taking their stomachs and sucking them in. I guess they had lost so much weight that they had nothing there. Yeah, it was insane. I remember I was laughing so hard. This is Lotto eating blueberries.
No one can make your dreams happen but you. You will never feel ready. You will never.
These are two of my good friends at my parents' house when they happened to be coming through Seattle at the same time that I was in Washington in Snoqualmie Pass, which is where my parents live approximately. And so they came to visit me. It was so nice to see them.
I feel good enough. I don't knock the path that I was on.
I love that clip of me surprising Worth It at Snoqualmie Pass. That was after I had finished the trail already, and he and Pisa had just gotten there, and he was checking into the hotel, and I came up and said hello and surprised him. And yeah, he's normally very gruff, so to see him like turn around and immediately recognize me and burst into a smile is so special. This is me on a glissade in the Sierra, I think. the year that I went back in 2024 to finish the part that I got airlifted out of in 2023.
And I'm critically aware that what I'm doing now may not work out, but at least I'll have tried. If you have a dream, consider yourself lucky.
This was so cool. This was in Washington State, and it was when I went back to go finish the place that was closed for fire the year that I went through in 2023. So this was summer of 2024, near Rainy Pass and near Stehekin Rainy Pass area. And these two bears were so close to me, and both of them are standing on their hind legs trying to figure out where I am. But they wouldn't leave, so I just had to keep walking around them.
And go for it. Some people live their whole lives not knowing.
That was okay. So the clip just before was a hailstorm and lightning storm on Mount Yale in Colorado that I was stuck in. I did not make it down. That was probably the closest I've ever been to lightning strikes in my life. And then this is coming down Mount Sunshine, I think, which is a 14,000 foot mountain in Colorado. When I was doing the Colorado Trail, I did a lot of 14ers, and I took a bailout route down here instead of a normal trail, and that's why I'm on this cliff now, and you can see it's quite steep and very loose. I was quite worried about slipping.
What they want to do, and they come out thinking, what was it all for? I hope that maybe in some small corner of their heart they think about my story and wonder, what if I chose to live differently? What if I pursued that dream? The time is always now. As for my progress today, it was still hot, but it was relatively a lot cooler in the wooded terrain. I never saw another person today. I'm camped right at the start of the famous Gila.
So here I wanted to say a couple of things. One is it was so steep there. I don't know if you saw my watch, but it said 31% grade. It was really, really steep in this section, and I think it was like the first part of the trail that was steep, because up until then, New Mexico had been really, really flat. And the other thing I wanted to say here is I think it's the first time on trail when I stopped seeing people on trail. I think at this point it started to thin out a little bit more, and I started to be more and more isolated and alone during the day.
River water crossings. I'm looking forward to it. See you tomorrow.
Man, that was a fast video, and I think it was because I wanted to slam in so many clips from my previous hikes as part of that whole manifesto that I shared. But hopefully some of those people saw it and reflected on what they said.